93, 93, 93. This is Amon Asha Renew from asharenew.com. Today I will speak on the various occult paths. When it comes to the occult, especially Western occultism, most of us will come through one of three paths. Either the Christian path, which leads you into Gnosticism, the Islamic path, which leads you into Sufism, or the Jewish path, or the Judaism, which leads you towards the Kabbalah. So this is why in Western occultism, those are really the main teachings in terms of the occult teachings. Because the occultists of the times, or the early Christians, were the Gnostics, and they were considered occultists. The Sufis were considered occultists, and the Kabbalists were considered occultists because they always stood out from everyone else. Because those were representatives of what we would call a secret society. The ones who were chosen to preserve the secrets so that we can access them today and bring ourselves to a state of awareness, grand awareness, or cosmic awareness. And this is why the path of Tantra or Tantra is also a path which represents enlightenment through sex magic, which we see a lot in the works of Crowley and others. So what we find is these Western occultic paths help us to essentially deal with the subconscious, because the subconscious takes us to our childhood. And our childhood most likely has elements of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and maybe some Eastern teachings. For those who are into meditation and yoga and things of that nature, those people will be more drawn, you can say, towards the tantric path. The more darker souls, as they'd say, the so-called occultists. Because these are where the secrets are kept or preserved. So while someone taking these things on face value, Tantra becomes an excuse to have, you can say, all types of unbounded sex or sexual encounters. When in reality, if we read the literature of Tantra, we would see they had certain communities, tantric communities. And people within those communities would have sexual encounters, but it was within only those within that community, not, you can say, anyone who arouses your interest. the same thing with the book of the law. When we hear things like do what thou wilt, if we take that on face value, we feel that is a invitation to do as you please. It's not until you go deeper into the literature that you come to the realization it is referring to your true will or your thelema. Perform your divine will. Because once you are in the performance of your divine will, that is you moving in the direction of your destiny. That is what you came here to do. So it increases your chance and your luck and your probability and your potential. Because you are generating a special type of currency that can only be generated when you are performing your mission, your purpose, your true will. So this is why these sciences or secrets or mystery schools are for those who want to see beyond the veil. Because those who take it on face value, they come and they go. Because they may be seeking something that cannot be provided to them. And what I mean by that is certain manifestations require certain combinations of energy, which we have to generate ourselves. Meaning we cannot rely on a mystery God, an invisible force. You must rely on your own self. You must pull from your own self. We begin to lower our reliance on mysterious things and mysterious forces. We must become more scientific and mathematical in our approach to magic. As magic represents advanced mathematics and advanced science. And that's what makes a thing or a performance magical. Because to the naked eye, it seems improbable. But to those who are sensitive to higher forces, we understand that these so-called occultic forces represent a culture. In other words, the occult is not something to be joined or a certain group to be a part of or a certain path. Because as we see, there are many paths. It represents the culture itself, which goes back to the beginning of time. Because as long as we have been here, the culture has been here. There has always been someone or a group of beings preserving the knowledge or the wisdom, which is how we are able to access it today. So at some point it became a culture, it became a way of life. It went beyond techniques. It went beyond what you can gain or benefit from it, and then you leave it alone. It became a way of life. It became a culture. And once you look at the occult as a culture, as a way of life, instead of a set of techniques, then you have a glimpse of what you are really getting into. And with that, I bear peace. 93, 93, 93.